What is going on, guys? We are inbound with Week 2, Day 2 SMITEPro League recap. We have a 3-1 Set 1, 3-1 Set 2. First set, we had Levis Warriors. A little bit more assassin-oriented in that first set. Can you give me your thoughts on that, J-Mac?
Yeah, so far, from what we've been noticing, Pele has obviously been probably the biggest assassin that every team is trying to go for. But when it comes to the Leviathans and the Warriors, they kind of put different priorities towards it, where Pele's a bit more towards the jungle for the side of the Warriors. Leviathans are kind of focusing on getting Camazots alongside there to get that their secondary, where the Warriors are focusing a bit more on the set. That seems to kind of be their pair of assassins. But more than anything, at least from what I'm noticing, is that the Pele is doing really well for Panatom, but it wasn't so hot for Pagon. It was probably the worst game that he had in the set was the one that he did go for the Pele. So as the meta starts to really solidify here, I'd like to see the Warriors maybe kind of diversify where they play in their strengths. Yes, Pagon and Panatom are really good on these assassins, but I'd like to see the side lane step up a little bit more for the future sets.
Perfect. And we saw a 3-1 in favor of the Levis. Warriors kind of the at least #1, maybe #2 considered team. A little surprising that the Levi's 3-1. Any surprising takeaways from that set?
I mean, I think Pagon having probably his worst set of the year so far was pretty surprising to me. And also, I think their dual lane they didn't play their high pressure, like run it down style. So it kind of like put them on the back foot in some of the games, and it just made it hard for them, I think.
Yeah, I think you see some people tweeting about, they crutch dual lanes, and maybe they tried to prove it wrong. A couple Ganesh games. Second set, we had the Ravens 3-1 over the Dragons. A little bit more in favor of the Ravens, and they didn't play those assassins as much. They still played them, but Scream is not really as focused on playing assassins. He'll play kind of whatever he thinks is strong. Meta's a little bit different for those two teams that we had in the first set and the teams in the second set. Anything that you can break down for that?
Yeah, it kind of feels like the meta is almost the opposite for these teams, where Pele is a primary focus for some of the top teams of the league. And not to say that Ravens or Dragons aren't a top team, but those two teams in particular really look for that Pele. As you noticed, it was either top ban or top pick from both of those squads. This set, Pele essentially kind of goes unnoticed for the entire first half of draft until you get to second phase of it, until this very last game where we did see you end up bringing that one out for him. But it just feels like we kind of got two different styles of play. We got the Ravens playing into how the Dragons want to play, get this slow, get this late game, and then we hit 65 minutes and they go, man, this is not fun to do. Why don't we just step on the gas pedal? And honestly, this is probably one of the best two games that we've seen out of the Ravens all season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd ask you guys about how well you thought you guys played. You guys probably thought you played a lot better this week than last week. So I'll ask you about the Dragons. Anything surprising with them? Any players stick out to you with that?
I think Mike's picks this week, he really went back to the Afro, which I wasn't exactly sure if he was going to after the last week games. It was just kind of the way they played the game. They played it really slow-paced, when I feel like Lasbro's like a really fast-paced diver player. And I think just their slow play style kind of threw us for a loop in the first few games until we adjusted to it.
Yeah, and I think you even think of Mike a little bit, and Mike plays a little bit more, in my opinion, at least a little better when he's playing those early game gods. The Afro has not looked too great. So a little bit different look from them. I think I expect them to maybe change it up next week, or they don't play tomorrow, so change it up next week. But yeah, 3-1 Levi's, 3-1 Ravens. Really looking great. Excited to see them next week. Excited to see the games tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed the recap. Subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys liked it. See you guys.